Hey there, Melissa. A couple of new social media posts from the president indicating some concern about mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Here's what the president has to say. In the most recent post, he says, "I am pleased to report that within the last few hours, we have hit and completely destroyed 10 inactive mine-laying boats and/or ships, with more to follow." The president also said in an earlier post today, if Iran has put out any mines in the Strait of Hormuz, and we have no reports of them doing so, we want them removed immediately. If for any reason mines were placed and they are not removed forthwith, the military consequences to Iran will be at a level never seen before. If, on the other hand, they remove what may have been placed, it will be a giant step in the right direction. The president goes on to say, we're using the same technology and missile capabilities deployed against drug traffickers to permanently eliminate any boat or ship attempting to mine the Hormuz Strait. They will be dealt with quickly and violently, the president says. And guys, I just want to flag for you a comment from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, because I think the significance of this is that it indicates the White House is trying to preserve as much latitude as they can for the president's decision to end this conflict with Iran. The president had said he wants unconditional surrender from Iran, but today Caroline Leavitt sort of redefined what unconditional surrender actually means. Here's what she said.
Well, when President Trump says that Iran is in a place of unconditional surrender, he's not claiming the Iranian regime is going to come out and say that themselves. What the president means is that Iran's threats will no longer be backed by a ballistic missile arsenal that protects them from building a nuclear bomb in their country. I could make an empty threat, but if I have no actions to back it up, then it's an empty threat.
So the argument Leavitt is making there is that unconditional surrender doesn't depend on the Iranians actually surrendering. It depends on the president determining that they're in a state of surrender based on military defeat and destruction of military capability. So I think that is important to note, just because it gives the president the ability to determine that really at any point. That's the maximum flexibility that the president had getting into the war, and clearly flexibility he wants to preserve potentially getting out of it at some point. We don't know when that point's going to be.
Flexibility, but at the same time, Eamon, yesterday at that press conference in Miami, he said victory will be defined by effectively Iran not being able to make a nuclear weapon from that day forward. So that seems to be sort of a very specific, which comes at odds to maximum flexibility.
Yeah, but, yes. But the president has said that in the past, right? Remember the strikes on the Iranian nuclear facility over the summer, after which the president said Iranian nuclear capability was totally obliterated. And now here we are, about 6 months later, the president said they've been reconstituting that nuclear ability. So the president can assert that the ability to produce a nuclear weapon has been completely obliterated, and then assert later that they're attempting to reconstitute it without really contradicting himself, according to the White House.